Donald Trump continues to assault the basic norms and decorum and discourse in this country when it comes to being the president of the United States. Because in this breaking story here at Occupy Democrats, the wannabe Tony Soprano thinks he's a tough guy, but he literally is such a baby. He's so weak. He's so thin-skinned that he can't even stand to face anyone who disagrees with him or even be in a bipartisan room for something that is standard and normal and part of being commander-in-chief, because he's afraid someone might actually stand up to him and make him look stupid because, well, he kind of is. But in this breaking story, remember when we had this pre-election ad that reminded us all of the actual truth?
If Trump's elected again, there'll be no one to stop his worst instincts. You'll have yes men help him implement Project 2025's agenda.
And just now regarding Venezuela, Trump proved it by not getting Congress's approval. This.
Will you be seeking any authorization from Congress for any land attacks on cartels in Venezuela?
I wouldn't mind telling them, but it's not a big deal. I don't have to tell them. It's been proven. I wouldn't mind at all. I just hope they wouldn't leak it. People leak it. They are politicians and they leak like a sieve.
He's nothing but a petulant, petty, POTUS punk.
Never in a million years did I ever think that I'd be working in the White House with a president that didn't care about the American people. I remember one time after a wildfire in California, he wouldn't send relief because it was a Democratic state. So we went as far as looking up how many votes he got in those impacted areas to show him these are people who voted for you.
And then he cries and whines and denigrates Governor Polis in Colorado because he won't let his pardon pull out a criminal from the elections. This.
Poorly run state of Colorado with a governor who's incompetent that won't allow our wonderful Tina to come out of a jail because she caught people cheating on an election and they said she was cheating. She wasn't cheating.
Will President Trump's pardon actually free Tina Peters?
No, this is a lawless act. It's an act of intimidation. It has no basis in American law. Our system of government gives states authority to run their own criminal justice systems.
This isn't normal.
No, you're right. It isn't normal. Nor is it normal to tell people that if they don't follow his commander-in-chief orders in the military, even if they're unlawful, then you've committed a seditious act. This.
And Donald Trump responded to that video saying it's called seditious behavior at the highest level. Each one of these traitors, service members he's calling traitors, to our country should be arrested and put on trial.
What they're talking about is not seditious behavior, it's the law. Because there is an important word in that the president seems to be forgetting. Lawful. I am under no obligation to follow laws that are not lawful or to follow orders that are not lawful.
And that was Governor Westmore from Maryland, because Trump proves every single thing about this pre-election campaign ad you could possibly imagine right here.
This isn't normal.
Unchecked power, no guardrails.
They will be serving one man.
So what did Trump do now in this breaking story? Well, he just disinvited every single Democratic governor because he's scared of them from a standard bipartisan meeting, and he even didn't invite both Polis from Colorado and Westmore. Check this story out. Breaking news. Trump to exclude Democratic governors from usually bipartisan meeting at the White House. In quotes, these are White House events and the president can invite whomever he wants. With that being said, the White House has been coordinating meetings with the president, cabinet secretaries, and Democrat governors for more than a week, Leavitt said in her statement. Quote, Democrats were invited to the dinner at the White House. This is a non-story. Kentucky's Democratic Governor Andy Beshear, in an appearance on ABC's The View on Monday, slammed Trump's decision to only invite Republicans to the annual meeting with governors at the White House and exclude Moore and Polis from the bipartisan dinner. Beshear also said he would not be attending the bipartisan dinner. In quotes, no, I ain't going, Beshear said. Wes is a friend of mine. Even if he wasn't a friend of mine, this would be wrong, and Jared as well. But the other thing that's going on is that they didn't invite any Democratic governor to the business section. Later this month, President Donald Trump is hosting an annual meeting with governors at the White House, but he will not invite any Democrats, only Republicans, breaking a long-standing tradition. The meeting, part of the National Governors Association Winter Gathering, will only include Republican governors, a spokesperson for the organization confirmed to ABC News. In quotes, the bipartisan White House governors meeting is an important tradition, and and we are disappointed in the administration's decision to make it a partisan occasion this year. To disinvite individual governors to the White House sessions undermines an important opportunity for federal-state collaboration. Brandon Tatum, acting executive director and CEO of the National Governors Association, said in a statement to ABC News, Trump is still planning to hold a separate bipartisan dinner for governors and their spouses at the White House as part of the NGA activities, but Trump did not give invites to two Democrats, Maryland Governor Wes Moore and Colorado Governor Jared Polis. It's unclear why Trump did not invite Polis and Moore to the dinner. Moore also serves as the vice chair of the NGA. In quotes, this is a disappointing decision for a traditionally bipartisan event between governors and whomever occupies the White House. Ali Sullivan, a spokesperson for Polis, said to ABC News in a statement. A source close to Polis said the governor was not given a reason for not being invited. Over the past few months, Trump has put pressure on Polis to release Tina Peters from prison following her receiving a presidential pardon. Peters was convicted on state charges for a scheme to tamper with voting systems driven by false claims about the 2020 election. Trump's pardon power does not extend, however, to state crimes. Moore was also not informed why he was not invited to the annual dinner and blasted Trump in a statement released on Sunday, appearing to suggest his race was a factor. In quotes, my peers, both Democrats and Republicans, selected me to serve as the vice chair of the NGA. Another reason why it's hard not to see this decision as another example of blatant disrespect and a snub to the spirit of bipartisan federal-state partnership, Moore said. In quotes, as the nation's only black governor, I can't ignore that being singled out for exclusion from this bipartisan tradition carries an added weight, whether that was the intent or not, he continued. ABC News has requested comment from the White House regarding Moore's remarks. Moore said to CNN on Sunday that he has received a commitment from the bipartisan National Governors Association that it will not recognize the dinner as an official NGA event. In a statement to ABC News, White House Press Secretary Caroline Lips-Levitt defended the president's decision to exclude Democratic governors from the annual NGA meeting at the White House, adding that Trump did invite them to the dinner. I'm not sure they've ever invented an emotional insecurity meter that you could just touch someone or stick it in their mouth like it's a thermometer. But if they did that on Donald Trump, the damn thing would literally explode. This man is such a whining crybaby. He's one of the weakest people I've literally ever seen in public life in my entire life, in any form of leadership whatsoever. From sports to politics, to religion, to a kindergarten teacher I know in Oklahoma. He is just pathetic. And this goes and proves it. And it also proves why he's so scared of the midterms, because the only way he can survive is if he somehow tries to make himself literally a dictator with no one questioning him. You guys like and share the video and stay frosty.